I guess you could say, oh, wow, 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 wow. Technical difficulty. Sorry about that. I guess you could say it has a lot of, I'm talking about the ride and mobile, I guess you could say it has a lot of historical significance, maybe. But I found it kind of. I'm sorry, but actually I found it kind of comical, really, because like they asked for that. That you know, it wouldn't. It, it was. They were so obnoxious. It probably, if you even took the racial element out of it, if whoever it was, they just whoever got caught in that situation, the the surrounding community should have helped bail him out because all the dude was trying to do, whether he was black, white, or whatever, was doing his job. Now, the fact that it turned out to be the optical situation that it was, the black on white thing, and it was obvious that some epithets were being thrown, and they thought they was gonna kick a black man's ass, and they got served. I love that shit. I'm sorry, but I really love that shit. It was it was absolutely I was impressed. Because it was just in a way. I mean, a lot of people like well, wow, the black people were ganging up on the white people. No, it was black people pulling together in the community effort to stop some age old shit. Just to say, look, we've had enough. That you're not gonna keep doing this shit to us, or especially like when we really not doing nothing but what we getting paid for, what your tax money goes to pay us for, or what well, in this case it wasn't tax money, but the dude was on the job. He was the first mate. He was the first mate on the riverboat. He was the co-captain. And what was really crazy was like when the first videos started coming out, all the major networks were just no, just I'm not gonna just blame just about anybody that was covering it was saying that the guy was a security guard that was on the boat, that was on the river. But it turned out he's the first officer, and I mean he had the shoulder boards and stuff on when he went to the pier. The way he came off the boat and got to the pier, I mean that another boat came and got him and took him there. The people that owned the black pontoon boat should have known that he was not there to bullshit, And it wasn't like he was trying to hurt their boat, or he wasn't even talking about impounding or nothing. He just wanted a funky 3 feet so they could get the tour boat docked and get these people out. The people on the boat is screaming at him, telling him, move the boat. We would like to get off of here. We got shit to do. Get your shit out the way. They were asking him to move. And nothing. So when the white dude approached the black dude, I don't know what words were said, but he threw that hat up in the air and it was on. I mean, it was like like the meme said, the bat signal turned on, and the whole neighborhood turned out, and some people got rolled. They definitely got punked. One of them admitted that he was just trying to say that the security guard was more than he thought he was going to be. 65-year-old could really fight, but and he looked like he couldn't fight. But anyway, it was some shenanigans. I mean, some people got thrown in the water. One brother tried out for the Olympics so he could come from the boat that he was on and get to the pier and get involved and to help his coworker out. That was some amazing stuff. But it was on the whole, it just showed that don't sleep on the fact that when really pushed, black people can respond, and we showed the value of probably one of our most secret weapons, and that's the folding chair. You know, but you know, all in all, don't take this the wrong way. It was a good damn day. That's all I can say. But moving right along, take the world for what you want to take it for. Like, the Republicans are not really saying nothing about, but they really going to wait to the last minute and start talking this government shutdown shit, especially if things start really going bad, like one of the Trump trials really takes off. And there's a big disparity between the D.C. judge and the Florida judge. And probably, unfortunately, most people probably know more about the Florida judge because of her recent missteps where she got smacked down by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeal, the people she works for. Um, said no, that was some dumb shit. And you just can't take the case. So all your rulings don't matter. That was like a summary mini execution, I guess, pre-execution. But now that somehow, because her name came off the wheel when they assigned the judges, she has the Mar-a-Lago documents case, and she's already doing some strange shit that would probably benefit Trump. And now they've figured out that maybe Trump is like, sending her messages by the appearances of his lawyers on some, TV conservative TV shows like Fox News, or News Nation or whatever they listen to or watch. I'm not really sure. I no, I do watch them because I like to know what the other side's saying, and I don't mean to make it sound like us them type thing, but that's basically what it's come down to: us them, good versus evil, people that want to live and let live, and people that just want to kill everything just for the fuck of it. But that's just me. We don't. I mean, half the stuff that we're fighting over, the people that are going to be the first ones to have to fight about it really don't give a shit about it. It's just that we're being pushed by both sides, and we don't have. I don't know whether it's like I'm not gonna say we don't have the brain power or we don't have the backbone. We got the backbone because we're gonna fight if we got to fight. It's not that we don't have the brain power because somebody's going to be smart enough to get enough people together to get this shit together, and somebody's going to win. It's going to be winners or losers. It's going to be winners and losers, or there's going to be nothing left at all. That's just how the human animal is. And regardless of what color any of us are, we're all human animals. So that's you know, just the way life is right now. But it's funny that one trial in D.C. is moving along at normal speed, and that's because the judge is basically ignoring Trump. Well, most judges know that Trump, his motions, even before he was the president of the United States, are just litigious, you know, jumble. It doesn't. He doesn't have the stuff. He doesn't even intend to get a favorable motion. He just wants to make the court waste the time considering the motions that he's putting in. And then if he gets lucky and you get some stupid judge like the one down in Florida, they'll either, pass it or come up with their version of it. And here we go. The trial's delayed for another 2 weeks, another month. Oh wow, no, we can't have the trial because he's in the election and we don't want to make it look political. And no, we can't have the trial because no, 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 no. And the next thing you know, it's 2028 and Trump's running for re-election again, and the world has gone to complete hell. That's a scenario. I guess that you could say that's a conspiracy, but I can see that shit happening if we really don't if we don't put a lid on Trump, if we don't run into the system and prove to the people that the judicial system at least works for everybody. It may be corrupt, it may be paid for, but when you get on the wrong side of it, in the case like Trump, you don't get a free pass. They need to prove that. That's why they got to make sure that whatever trial, whichever one, they gonna slam it. I mean, they could. I mean, the Florida more, they could take uh, what you call. I mean, Cannon off the bench. They could say, "Look, you just too dumb. Get the fuck up and get out because you already fucked up once. You're not gonna fuck up the reputation of the court." But does the federal justice system, does the federal judicial have a reputation? I mean, look at the Supreme Court. That's the granddaddy of them all, highest court in the land, and we got people like Clarence Thomas. They figuring out that this motherfucker been on the cuff for like 30 years. The entire time he been on the Supreme Court bench, he has been on the tape. Samuel Alito, majority of the time they find out, majority of the time either him or his wife is taking the financial advantage of his position on the Supreme Court. And here these, I mean, you got six like overly conservative justice. I mean, I two of them, Alito and Thomas, are extreme. If you listen to those two cats talk about some things today about the way they think about them, you would be afraid because they are out there. They are really, really out there. There's no way that people that have the ideas, and I don't want people to think, that I'm trying to say who should sit on the Supreme Court or not, who am I? But when somebody is that far out there and has been, both of them have been expressing these ideals long enough where if people really paid attention instead of just fishing for people like them to put them in a position so they can turn the key when they want to for their own financial gain. These people are dangerous, man. And I think if you look at Thomas's record, how he has voted, especially how much he has voted anti anything for people that look like him, you gotta understand that there is something deeply, deeply wrong deep down inside this boy's soul. And I mean, I mean, the money. Yeah, the money is one thing. I know people can be swayed by money. The gifts. You getting free jets and fuck, ocean vacations in the Bahamas on private yachts. You, your family. You looking big time. You living big time, but you got to be a special kind of sad to do your people that look like you that way. It's just, and other people that don't look like you, that the white people, they know that for you to do the things that you do to the people that look like you, that you got to be a special kind of twisted, and they got to keep you on a short leash. Don't think that you really all that. They know they got a good dog, and they gonna use it to hunt as long as they can. And then when they get through with it, they'll put it out, you know, just like old Yeller. But um, the thing, it's crazy how the one system that I guess was put there to keep the other two, the legislative and the executive, in balance from trying to, I guess, operate outside of their zone, outside their lane. That's why we have three branches of government. The judicial, we needed to keep that clean, and it's becoming obvious that it hasn't been clean for a long time. So, has anything that's come out of the Supreme Court, has that been clean? Has any of those decisions that they've made on reproduction or voting rights or taking away voting rights or you know, it's and everything. It's just like when you find a corrupt judge in the municipal and the state court system. all the cases that they tried become suspect. Look at all the cases that this Supreme Court has ruled on. They all become suspect. I mean, Roe versus Wade, we went through the leak. That has never happened before, but maybe that was just because the court has never been as corrupt as it is now. Not in recent times. I don't know. We don't know, but that is what the people in the middle, people like you and me, and it ain't all about looking like you and me. It's we all the people in the same condition. You know, sometimes like don't confuse me with like I'm a black racist or something like that. It's not that. I speak about the struggle that I understand the most, and that just happens to be the black struggle. But that doesn't mean I don't recognize the struggle of anybody else, or I don't really, or that I don't feel that our struggles have enough in common that we could actually, if we actually like put aside some differences and made this like just a real the real unified pissed off people of America struggle, that we could get more results, because then you can't divide and conquer. You can't divide and count on like so many votes from this community, because I got them hating everybody that live on the other side of the tracks just because that's the way we do it. In order for this country to change, in order for it, like we really at home, yes, us, the people that work, the people that still pay taxes sometimes, um, we gotta like take responsibility and start using the system the way it was designed to be used. We got to start teaching our kids and our grandkids. And when I say kids, I'm talking about like people my age with grown ass kids that we didn't really give them. We gave them the talk about getting pulled over in the middle of the night, on the highway, but we didn't give them the talk about how important it is to go to the ballot box and cast your vote. Because if you don't, you will get bent over. And it's time for that to stop. It is time for America to live up to the uh, vote for representation, equal representation, no taxation without representation. Those are some basic tenets. I mean, if actually if we start living up to that, maybe we can live up to some of the other stuff, like the melting pot, land of the free, land of justice, land of equality, freedom for all. But we got to get the basics out of the way first. We've been failing at that for almost 250 years now. But anyhow, you know, um, it all starts out with the small town, the small town thing. Boy, this is getting like exciting. Nobody's showing up. I might be calling this quits because like I hate talking to myself. Hmm. Nobody out there. Nobody out there. Nobody out there. I'm calling this one quits. Later.